Hey guys, it's Heather here with Underwater Panther, and this is the Aquarian or INTJ Emotional Mastery video series here on YouTube. I am following along with my ebook. You can find that in the description box below. So I had to break up video 7 dealing with emotional triggers because I definitely added to the script last week. I took a whole week to add more information to this video. I was going to do littler, shorter videos, but I have decided to expand these videos because I know a lot of people don't have time to read, and I really don't know anyone else doing this like I am, combining astrology with psychology. So I am really seriously enjoying this video series, and I think after this, I'm probably going to move on to Pisces or the INFJ personality type, breaking down video series like this for that personality. And then after that, I'm not sure where I will go with it. Maybe Capricorn, I don't know. Eventually, I'm going to get all of my ebooks done on each personality according to the 12 zodiac archetypes. So anyways, this is video 2 of the video 7 dealing with emotional triggers. This is part 2. So I am going to start pulling from my ebook about triggers and reactions. So we're not trying to be triggered. So it's like we're not trying to react in the moment. We're trying to pause, reflect, and then respond. So the cosmic and cognitive roots of your emotional triggers. Everyone has emotional triggers, those moments when something small sets off a big internal storm. But for Aquarians or INTJs, triggers often have a different flavor. They're less about drama and more about boundary violations, threats to autonomy, or having your core values or vision dismissed. Why triggers happen. Emotional triggers are those situations, words, or events that spark a sudden, strong emotional reaction, often before you even realize what's happening. For Aquarius or INTJs, triggers tend to be less about emotional drama and more about your autonomy, values, or unique way of seeing the world being dismissed, violated, or ignored. The science, brain and body. Triggers activate the amygdala, the threat detection in your brain, which can instantly fire up fight, flight, or freeze reactions. INTJs or Aquarians wiring. Because you're highly analytical, your mind often picks up on subtle patterns or disrespect long before others notice, which means you might feel on alert or certain threats to your independence or values. Patterns and overthinking. Your dominant cognitive functions, so introverted intuition, extroverted thinking, and introverted feeling, scan for inconsistencies, disrespect, or threats to your integrity. So when a trigger hits, it can feel instantly personal or even existential. Common triggers for Aquarius or INTJs. Having your ideas dismissed or ignored, being micromanaged or controlled, dishonesty, manipulation, or hidden agendas, emotional drama, chaos, or unclear motives, pressure to conform or fit in or compromise your individuality, sudden changes or unpredictability without warning are big common triggers for this personality. How reactions unfold. Physical. Tension, faster heartbeat, shallow breathing, sudden fatigue, or a need to escape. Mental reactions. Racing thoughts, shutting down, analyzing the situation obsessively, or wanting to fix it. Emotional reactions. Irritation, anger, withdrawal, numbness, or loss of motivation. Cognitive and planetary influence. So I did go into like serious great depth with this in the last video. So I'm also going to, I'll have 3 PDFs of breaking this down in serious depth. I've never seen this broken down anywhere else in this much depth. So I'm going to have 3 free PDFs. You want to check that out. I'm going to put that in the description box below. And also the ebook is 256 pages. So if you like that, like this video, do check the ebook, the bigger ebook out. And I'm going to get that on Amazon. I want a physical copy myself. I absolutely love this. I need a physical copy myself. So that is also in the works, getting my books on Amazon, specifically this one first because it is amazing. All right, so cognitive and planetary influences. Saturn triggers from boundary violations or disrespect for your time. Uranus triggers from feeling boxed in or pressured to be normal. Pluto triggers from betrayal, power games, or feeling manipulated. Neptune triggers from emotional overwhelm, confusion, or blurred boundaries. Introverted intuition, introverted feeling, and extroverted thinking. You might react by overanalyzing with NI, withdrawing FI, or going cold and logical with extroverted thinking. What to do with triggers. Number 1, notice. Catch the reaction. Where do you feel it in your body? What thoughts or emotions come up? Number 2, name. What just happened? Is this a familiar trigger, dismissed, controlled, misunderstood? Which value or need feels violated? Number 3, normalize. Triggers are signals, not personal failures. Everyone has them. Yours are shaped by your unique wiring and experiences. Number 4, respond, not react. Try a regulation tool from your menu. You can find that in the prior, I think 2 videos ago. I put that on the screen, the regulation menu, and also that is found in my ebook. So try regulation tools from your menu. Grounding, breathing, movement, or a quick creative reset. Use self-talk. Like, this is a trigger, not the truth about who I am. If needed, set a boundary or revisit the situation when you're calm. And then I am pulling from an ebook now. There are journal prompts. So there's a reflection exercise, affirmations, and I've got more planetary influences about why you get triggered. I'm not really sure if you guys are enjoying this or not. I will go into this a little bit more so you can get more familiar with the planets and cognitive functions. So Saturn triggers when boundaries are crossed, your time is wasted, or expectations are ignored. You think disrespect, broken commitments, and being micromanaged. Uranus reacts to restriction, forced conformity, or group think. You're triggered by anything that stifles your originality or need for freedom. Pluto, deep-seated power struggles, betrayal, manipulation, or control dynamics light up your shadow. You might react strongly to injustice or hidden agendas. Neptune gets overwhelmed by emotional chaos, deception, or people who blur boundaries and reality. INTJs are actually very prone to being gaslit. It's so annoying. INFJs and INTJs are worse about being gaslit. They don't realize that they're being gaslit. INTJs, that can also be a thing. So Neptune gets overwhelmed by emotional chaos, deception, or people who blur boundaries and reality. You may withdraw, space out, or feel inexplicably drained. Mercury, communication failures, misunderstandings, not being listened to, or feeling intellectually dismissed can set you off fast. Cognitive functions. So now we're going to get into the psychological portion. Introverted intuition instantly senses when something is off. You get triggered by patterns that threaten your long-term vision, insight, often before you consciously realize why. Extroverted thinking, when triggered, you might respond with logic, sarcasm, or by trying to fix the situation. Sometimes you shut down or go cold. Introverted feeling takes things deeply and personally, especially if your values are challenged. You may withdraw, ruminate, or feel misunderstood. Extroverted sensing in a trigger moment, you may get physically restless or overstimulated. Sometimes you act impulsively or need to escape the situation. So here I have, what page is this? 182. Trigger mapping worksheet. This goes in depth with more triggers, the planets and functions involved, and your usual reaction according to those specific triggers. Reaction awareness. There's tons of journal prompts in here to make it more personal to yourself. So, triggers and reactions. Why do you react like that? Everyone has emotional triggers. Those situations, words, or people that seem to spark a reaction way bigger than the moment itself. For Aquarians or INTJs, your triggers might be different from the norm. Feeling misunderstood or dismissed, having your boundaries crossed, being pressured to act before you're ready, surprises or last minute changes, others being illogical or emotionally chaotic. You might notice you react with withdrawal, sarcasm, shutdown, overthinking, or even unexpected anger. Why it matters. Triggers show you where you need care or protection. They aren't just weaknesses, they're signposts for growth. Reactions are often automatic. Your nervous system learns to protect you in certain ways, even if those ways don't serve you now. Awareness creates choice. If you spot a trigger and know your typical reaction, you can choose a different, more effective response. The brain's threat detection network. The amygdala is the brain's early warning system for threat, physical, social, or emotional. When it detects something is off, like criticism, boundary crossing, or social rejection, it sets off a rapid response cascade. Stress hormones like cortisol and adrenaline are released, priming your body and mind for action. Prefrontal cortex. The prefrontal cortex is your brain's CEO. It handles self-control, planning, and logic. In INTJs or Aquarian types, this region is highly active, but under stress, the amygdala can hijack it, making you snap, freeze, go blank, or fixate on the problem. The hippocampus stores emotional memories. Triggers are more intense if the situation echoes a past experience, especially if it's unresolved or even you are unaware. The hippocampus emotional memory bank. The hippocampus is a seahorse-shaped region deep in your brain. Its main jobs are storing new memories, which are facts, experiences, and context, connecting emotion and memory, meaning it keeps track of what happened and how you feel at the time. How the hippocampus shapes triggers. When something emotionally charged happens, say being harshly criticized in a meeting, the hippocampus files away not just the details about where, when, and who, but also the emotional tone, like shame, anger, or sadness. If you encounter a similar situation later, like someone ignoring your idea in another group, the hippocampus flags the resemblance. This can send a fast signal to the amygdala, which triggers a strong emotional reaction, even if the present situation is less intense. Why triggers can feel so intense? Unresolved experiences. If past hurts like social rejection, being controlled, or betrayed weren't processed or healed, the hippocampus stores them as unfinished business. When something in the present echoes those old situations, your reaction is amplified. Your brain isn't just responding to now, but to every similar hurt from before. This is why Aquarians or INTJ types who may have stored up memories of being dismissed, misunderstood, or forced to conform can react strongly when similar patterns pop up. What the science says. Studies show that the hippocampus is crucial in connecting past and present. People with damage to this area struggle to learn from experience or to connect current feelings to previous events. Healthy hippocampal function lets you contextualize triggers. This reminds me of high school, but it's not the same. Making reactions more manageable. Mindfulness, journaling, and therapy all help refile old memories, lessening the power of triggers. What this means for you. If you ever think, why did that small thing set me off? It's probably because your hippocampus recognized a familiar pattern from your past. Unpacking and resolving old emotional memories through reflection, writing, or self-awareness can reduce trigger intensity and help you respond rather than react. Awareness lets you say, this is an echo, not a threat, and choose your next step with clarity. I have a quote here that I really like. Trauma taught you to flee your body. Healing is about coming home to it. There is a self waiting for you to come home. So, how to rewire the hippocampus? Practical tools for emotional memory. Number 1, mindful re-exposure, mindfulness and observation. Deliberately recall a triggering memory in a calm, safe setting while noticing your body's sensations and emotional responses without judgment. Sit quietly, bring up a memory that often triggers you. Notice where you feel it in your body, like tightness, heat, or numbness. Take slow, deep breaths and remind yourself, this is just a memory. I'm safe now. Result. Over time, the safe re-exposure teaches your hippocampus and amygdala that the memory is no longer dangerous, reducing the charge it carries. Journaling the story, narrative processing. Write out the old experience, what happened, how you felt, and what you wish had been different. Use prompts like, what did I feel? What did I need? What do I know now that I didn't then? Rewrite the ending with your present wisdom or self-compassion. Result. Telling your story from a new adult perspective helps the hippocampus update the emotional file so it's less likely to trigger you in the future. Cognitive reframing, updating the narrative. Challenge and change the old meaning attached to a memory. When a trigger pops up, pause and ask, is this really true now, or am I responding from my past? Reframe. Back then, I didn't have a choice. Now I do. Or you can tell yourself, I'm not powerless. I can set a boundary this time. Result. New connections form between the hippocampus and prefrontal cortex, making the old trigger less automatic and more manageable. Visualization. Rewriting the mental tape. Imagine the old scenario, but this time visualize yourself responding with strength, calm, and assertiveness. Picture the event, then change the outcome in your mind, standing up for yourself, walking away, or calmly stating your needs. Result. Visualization helps rewire the emotional memory, building a sense of agency over past and future situations. Somatic reset, movement and body work. Use movement or body-based techniques like walking, yoga, shaking out tension, after working with a memory or trigger. After reflection or journaling, move your body. Stretch, walk, shake your arms and legs. This signals safety to the hippocampus and helps file away the experience as non-threatening. Result: physical movement completes the emotional stress cycle, aiding memory integration. What is somatic reset? Somatic comes from the Greek word for body. A somatic reset means using physical movement and body-focused techniques to help your nervous system process, release, and reintegrate emotional experiences, especially those connected to old triggers or memories. Why is this important for the Aquarian or INTJ? These types often live in their heads, analyzing, planning, and thinking, sometimes to the point of emotional numbness or disassociation from the body due to extroverted sensing in the inferior. But the nervous system stores emotional stress in the body and your muscle tension, posture, and energy levels, even after the mind has supposedly moved on. Movement and body work give your hippocampus and amygdala a signal. The threat is over. You're safe now. This completes the stress cycle and prevents emotional overload or shutdown. The science. Stress response. When triggered, your body releases adrenaline and cortisol, priming muscles for action, flight, fight, or freeze. Without physical release, this energy stays trapped, keeping your system on alert. Research shows that even gentle movement like walking, stretching, shaking, or yoga can help reset the nervous system, reduce anxiety, and update emotional memory through hippocampus integration. Shaking or animal reset. Stand up and privately shake out your arms, legs, and whole body for 1 to 60 seconds. Imagine stress or old emotions leaving your muscles. Why it works. Animals do this after stress in the wild. It's a hardwired way to discharge tension and signal safety to your brain. Walking meditation. Take a slow, mindful walk. Feel your feet touch the ground. Notice sights, sounds, and sensations. Breathe deeply, syncing your breath with your steps. Why it works. Rhythmic movement soothes the vagus nerve and grounds you in the present moment. Stretching or yoga. Do simple stretches, reach up, fold forward, twist side to side, or follow a gentle yoga flow focused on breath and body awareness. Why it works. Movement lengthens tight muscles, while focused breathing calms the stress response. Deep pressure or weighted blanket. Use a weighted blanket, hug a pillow, or wrap yourself in cozy fabric. Why it works. Deep pressure calms the nervous system, lowers cortisol, and provides a sense of security. Dance or free movement. Put on a song and move however you want. No rules, no steps. Let your body speak what your mind can't express. Why it works. Unstructured movement helps release stuck energy and reconnects the mind and body. Mind body activation performance. Isn't that amazing? I'm an Aquarian, Mercury in the 11th house. And I have practiced meditation, yoga, guided meditation, bodybuilding. It's so wild how strong I have tried to make my extroverted sensing inferior, and it definitely works. Like, this stuff is real. It's a real deal. When to use somatic resets. After a triggering event, tough memory, or stressful day, when you notice tension, numbness, or feeling checked out, as a daily or weekly ritual for maintenance and resilience. So, in summary, somatic reset helps Aquarians or INTJ types break the cycle of living in the head and reconnect with the body, releasing stored stress, integrating emotional memory, and restoring calm, clarity, and confidence. Sharing and social context. I'm not going to go through all of that. I think I've really hammered on the cognitive functions. I've talked about the nervous system. All right, so I'm going to go into triggers are personalized. This is a good section. Intellectual threats. So triggers, these are big triggers for Aquarians or INTJs. Intellectual threats. Dismissed ideas or not being heard can trigger the same biological cascade as a physical threat. Because your mind and identity are so closely tied to your ideas and vision. Boundary violations. INTJs or Aquarian types value autonomy, extremely independent. This personality is probably the most independent out of all of them due to introverted feeling in the child and because they are triple pragmatic according to the four sides of the mind. So the ego, subconscious, unconscious, superego. According to psychology, Aquarians are triple pragmatic. So they literally do not check in with anybody. They make their own decisions. They don't tend to like check in with the group, and they're extremely independent, especially the female INTJs. Very independent. So, Aquarian types value autonomy, their independence. Intrusions, interruptions, and micromanagement spark defensive or avoidant responses. Unpredictability, sudden changes or chaos activate stress networks, especially for those who find comfort in routine and structure. Hello, Saturn influence. Existential triggers. If a situation threatens your sense of meaning or purpose, it can spark anxiety or nihilism, unique to big picture, future focused types. Why do you react the way you do? Past learning. The brain remembers what hurt or threatened you before. Triggers may be louder if they echo past social rejection, criticism, or loss of control. Wired sensitivity. Some people are naturally more sensitive to social cues, while others are more attuned to sensory or emotional input. Aquarians or INTJ types tend to be especially sensitive to intellectual, social, or autonomy-related threats. Cognitive patterns. You may quickly analyze or overthink a trigger, amplifying its impact or causing analysis paralysis, or in other words, freeze reaction. Protective strategies. Your brain's first job is to protect. So even if a reaction seems irrational, it's your system's way of keeping yourself safe. How to spot your triggers. Notice when your mood shifts suddenly. Do you feel angry, small, defensive is a huge one, tired, or numb? Pay attention to the situations or people that reliably set you off. Reflect on arguments, misunderstandings, or moments you regret. I've got more mapping your triggers, reflection prompts. Quick tools for managing triggers. Pause before reacting. Count to 5 or take a breath. Name your feeling. For example, I'm annoyed or I feel left out. Create space. Excuse yourself if you need to cool down. Prepare a go-to phrase. For example, I need a second to think about it. Self-soothe with a reset ritual from your emotional regulation menu. I have another quote. Pay close attention to whatever triggers reactions from you. Your triggers reveal the spot where an ancient pain is still buried. So tips for Aquarians or INTJs. Your triggers are not flaws, they're guideposts. It's okay to need time to express or to request space. Each time you map a trigger, you make future reactions easier to manage. Affirmation. Not every feeling is an emergency. I can choose my response, not just my reaction. Bottom line. Triggers are are invitations, not to shame yourself, but to understand and upgrade your patterns. With a little awareness and planning, you can turn your reactions into responses and your triggers into tools for growth. All right, so I've got Purpose Builder coming up. I'm not going to get into that in this video. I was kind of debating on getting into boundaries, how to set boundaries, but I think this is a good place to stop. I've probably been recording for 3 hours tonight. It's been a long night. So, yeah, I am going to go into triggers in a different video. Let me see what video I have next. I think I'm on video 8. Okay, so I actually might put this video as part 1, and then part 2 would be the breaking the actual planets and cognitive functions down, why they are specifically triggered. It's going to be a longer video. This is 30 minutes. The other one's probably going to be an hour and a half. So I think I'm going to put this portion as part 1 for the trigger, for the dealing with emotional triggers, and then my longer video that I break down more in depth, I'll probably do that as part 2 for video 7. My next video will be about finding and keeping purpose when nothing feels real. Honestly, I think I am going to now that I've already put all of these lists on all the other videos, I'm actually going to get into boundaries next. I'm going to write this down before I forget. So I'm going to go into boundaries, how to set boundaries next for video 8. And then I will go into finding and keeping purpose when nothing feels real. After that, we will talk about balancing business goals and personal life without melting down, and then rewiring for substantial emotional health and success. So I am going to switch this around a little bit. I talked about triggers, why we are triggered, breaking down the planets and the cognitive functions specifically. And I think the next go-to video should be talking about how to set better boundaries, and then going into finding purpose. So thank you so much for sticking with me through this video. Do check out the free, probably be about 3 worksheets, free worksheets breaking this down so you can just, I really, honest to God, don't know anyone else doing this like I am. I'm so happy that this process is like speeding up and I'm getting stuff out quicker. Although like my schedule is insane, like between work, I'm normally working, say it'd be 10 hours between work and driving, 10 hours a day. I've got kids I take to school in the morning. So my actual like weekly schedule is very intense. I literally work, sleep, and deal with kids, and then I edit my videos at work. So I am, no matter what happens in my life, I will keep up with this business. It's extremely important. I really wish I had someone breaking this down for me years and years ago. It would have been amazing. Fitness and nutrition and meditation and aimlessly trying to self-develop is great and grand, but I really truly think this is it. This is definitely it. Studying astrology and psychology goes so much more in depth with how your brain is wired, your emotions, your thinking, your triggers, your strengths, your weaknesses, how you relate to other people. Personality honestly can conquer how you were raised. It's I'm like the black sheep of my family, and I was raised very conservative. I was in a private Catholic school, and I took that extremely seriously up until I was like 14 years old. And that is my nature. I was nurtured that way. Or that's my nurture. I was nurtured that way. My personality is just resilient. it's just amazing, like, how important learning about our own personality is. I wish this was taught in school. I do this because it helps me with parenting my own children, and it helps me understand my own pitfalls. Being an Aquarian can be like an extremely frustrating thing. Like, why am I so different? Why am I like this? Why can I not communicate my emotions? Like, why do I isolate myself? Why am I overthinking like crazy? Just building this business is my own unique way of expressing my research in all reality. Like, regardless of what I'm taught, I am still going to research everything under the sun and then rebuild it into my own thing. And so I'm very innovative, but it's also very isolating because, like, I cannot talk. I cater my own communication depending on who I'm talking to. Like, I'm not going to talk like this to a lay person. Like, I will, express myself differently, like the language or whatever. But yeah, it's just interesting. All of this is very fascinating, and I'm like laughing at myself because I'm like trying to cater to, INTJs or Aquarians and INFJs or Pisces are like the least amount of the population in general. I can't remember what the percentage is. It's very low. And so there's not very many of us in the population. And so I'm like trying to create videos and ebooks to sell to the population that's like the least. But I have noticed that Pisces or INFJs are extremely into this, Aquarians too. Like, we're just like so frustrated with not understanding ourselves. Like we're gonna get into this eventually. So I don't know. I hope you're enjoying this. I truly do. I'm learning so much as I go along every day. This helps me understand it better, and I truly, truly am so thankful for your time, for your energy. Yeah, so just like and subscribe. It helps this tiny little channel out. I am a mother trying to do as much as I can. But yeah, I do appreciate it. So I hope that this is bringing value to your own life. Like, I am self-motivated. Another one of my huge core wounds, I didn't have a mother growing up. I did up until I was 4 years old, and I was, I had literally had to be taken away from her because she was not a mother by any stretch of the imagination. So I do have a very deep, deep mother wound, and my grandmother raised me. She is in her 80s now. And so yeah, I was raised by an entire different generation, and I'm still here doing this. Like, yeah, yeah, so this helps me in my own wounds. Like, I am a very masculine woman with the Aquarian 11th house Mercury. I am very masculine. I've had to work through my own wounds becoming a mother myself. It literally, I had never felt that mother, like, love, that unconditional love. I had never felt that until I myself became a mother. And of course, becoming a mother brought up a lot of trauma that I had stuffed down and forgotten about. And yeah, had to work through that. I've worked through a lot by myself, like, literally. I'm self-motivated. I have had a little bit of therapy, but a lot of it was just myself and taking inner work seriously for a very, 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 very long time, my whole lifetime. Like, I've been doing this work since I was 4 and didn't even realize, like, what the heck. So anyways, yeah, I think I just feel like starting a whole new channel, just dealing with feminine wounding and trying to bring women together more. It's needed in this day and age. Like, I don't want to really get into that here, but I have definitely created another channel already, and I'm trying to get another little area in here set up for that channel specifically for the feminine wound and healing the feminine wound. So yeah, I have been in this like personal development very, very deeply. So I definitely appreciate you because not everyone is into this. So anyway, hopefully I can build a community here. Feel free to comment in the comment section. I appreciate you guys more than you will ever know. So anyways, take care. I hope to see you in the next video. And yeah, much love.